and I don't know, like, can't we just speak with male friends?
There is nothing.
Is it
Let
right?
let me just answer. There's
Okay.
nothing wrong with having friends. It is how you choose to interact with those friends that is key. You've lived a whole life. It would be unfair to imagine that you won't know people or meet people. A friend could even be a cousin that is family, but then the person is also a friend. But regardless of whether that person is that cousin or a friend from this place and all of that, it's still in how you interact. So what are the laid down rules about interaction with the opposite sex as it binds male and female? Now let's be open to our realities. We are we have a complexity that other people don't have. And I mentioned this yesterday that we are Nigerians and then we have our tribes, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, whatever, and then we are Muslims. At the end, you find all of these things mixing together. Nigeria is not an Islamic state, so we don't have Islam as the default rule of law here. If that were to be the case, then you would find a lot of these things will be. So, for example, there was one scenario I witnessed one day, and somebody needed to register for biometrics at a particular company, a multinational. Now, the person registering people, biometrics means that the facial points are taken and all of that. Your ears need to come out. Everything, like the actual shape of the head, everything needs to be registered such that every day you come, you stand in front, and then it keys you in. The person to do this was a man, and then I sat down, I was watching, and one lady came in, and she had hijab and all of that, and in my mind I was just thinking, hey, how would this happen now? And the guy didn't know. He knew what needed to be done in his mind. The guy, a Christian, he knew what needed to be done in his mind, but he didn't know how to tell her that with this thing we are trying that is not registering. See, your ears need to come out for it to register. Now, even if he had the audacity to tell her that, what would she do? Now, these are some of the difficult challenges that we found ourselves in. What do we do? At some point, something has got to give, and it's not ideal for us as Muslims, but that's the reality that we found ourselves in. Are you going to say, I'm not registering for work, when directive has come from up that they'll be paying salary based on attendance? And that is how to register. And he is the IT guy that will register you. It's not like, okay, bring a female that is IT that can register. Oh, he's the one that is handling biometric machine. What do we do? In an ideal situation, provisions will be made for such. But this is where we find ourselves. It's not ideal. At some point, Allah sees everything. This situation of working and having colleagues and doing all of those things, you can't help it due to where we find ourselves. If you're going to have a paid job, you will have male colleagues. However, how you choose to interact, the fact that ideally, if you're to follow it Islamically, you should not even be with them in the first place, whether at work or not. It should not even be there. But hey, this is how we have found ourselves. It is left for you to understand that, okay, the manner in which I interact with them. So for instance now, I went to their house, they hosted me, and she made me lovely rice. I keep talking about that rice. Lovely rice and all of that. So I know her now, I interact with her, and then interact with the husband. If we get to that point where they view me as we're almost one, it's still not, Islamically, it's still, they accept me, still doesn't make it, you don't break the rules because hey, they accept me, no. But see, under the situation we found ourselves, if she gives me a call, how is the family, how is your wife, and all of that, I don't think that crosses any line. I might be wrong. Allah sees it all. But personally, I don't think that crosses any line. Now, it will get to a point where the discussion will now be personal. The nature of what I do means that I will hear some things and I'll have some discussions that are personal. But then again, that is according to the occupation. It is not just regular cordial, we're gisting and all. Because when people call me, I'm a very private person. It takes a lot to get me to come for events. You wouldn't even find me first. People see me and I'm very present. I'm present because internet is everywhere. People don't, I'm a very private person. So you won't even see me even talking to which friend. I don't even want to talk to you. Not like anything. I don't feel like it. Leave me in my space. So for that reason, it becomes easier for my wife, who knows that this is the sort of person he is. He does this one, that you are even begging to go out and do something. I'm not just in cordial with anybody. So no conversation. There was one talk earlier on about conversation is suspicious. It will not be suspicious because you would, even for the bits that you come and you walk past, you will have an idea of what I'm talking about. You would know this one is not, from body language and everything, you know who is trying to be dodgy. You know when something flags. It's not even going to get to that point. So in that context, I don't think anything is wrong. There are people who call also from work. So we've done this work from, say maybe a project. We've done this work and then I get home. I need to pass on information. These things do happen. But on the level of we're having friends, we're keeping friends and all. If I, as a man, I don't keep friends in that manner without carrying my wife fully along, then it's just normal for me to expect the same of her. That's my view on that. Ideally, I don't think, we're always, Islam is always, the deen is always going to be our default. Let's not paint it like it is, it's not right. Now, it's not whether it's because it's the woman talking to a man. If it was the man talking to another woman, it still would not be right. However, sometimes you need to look beyond the black and white and see, okay, this person speaking to me, this is my Oga that is calling. Naturally, you will have a relationship with your Oga. You won't just say, Assalamu alaikum, and then you don't talk. And no, now, it'll happen. If the interaction we're talking about still falls within the limits of, okay, this is as work demands, I don't think that's too much, given the context of where we find ourselves.